of what will likely be, at the very least, episode 1, 2, and 3 of StarCraft 2. So this is going to be for mainly beginners, so if you are completely new to RTS or the StarCraft 2 saga, I recommend watching this video, and I'll give you step by step on how to win each mission. Most of the missions will follow kind of like a basic premise or kind of like template, and then you can kind of get a little creative on your own when you start playing. So we're going to start off with Wings of Liberty with Terran. So we're going to make a new game, and so they have 4 different difficulties, right? So arguably, if this is your first time and you don't even want to watch this video, you can just buy the game and play it on casual, right? And just kind of go through and learn all the mechanics yourself. But what I'm going to do differently is basically tell you a bunch of tips and tricks so that you can kind of master on your own, and it'll probably make your own gameplay a little easier, so that way that even if you're the first time, you can start going on normal. And then over time, you can start making yourself go to hard or even brutal. Now, just to let you know, I'm not an expert at StarCraft by any means, but I have beaten the entire game. I've played a lot of the missions on brutal, and I do a fair amount of co-op. I'm by no means a good PvP player, so don't take it as like you need to be a super good player in order to play this game. There are definitely different difficulties, as you can see here, but also a lot of the pros that play this game are obviously very good. They have actions per minute up to like 200 count. I think the highest I've ever been is maybe 90, and that was when I was actually trying really hard to like be a better player. But nowadays I just kind of play for fun, and if you want to play for fun as well, and you just want to see how that's still possible without having a lot of skill to start off with, this is your channel. This is the place where you want to go to kind of start off and get used to playing StarCraft. And from here, it translates a lot into the co-op modes, because you're basically going to be replaying a lot of story missions. Sorry, I got the hiccups just now. Oh man. And this is live too. This is crazy. So, okay. So let's start off with normal. Also, I'm going to skip a lot of the cinematics. So if you really want to watch the cinematics and stuff, cinematics, go to another channel. So I'm going to skip a lot of stuff. And I'm going to give you a basic tutorial on how to win all these missions, what you should get, what missions you should do first, how to utilize certain units, and yeah, a lot of the tips and tricks that'll just put you in a better spot.
Adjutant, what do you got for me?
Dominion forces have sent...
Anyways, I'm not going to watch all this stuff. Basically, you're supposed to go kill some people and liberate this town, which is going to be pretty simple. Alright, I'm skipping all this stuff. Alright, so first off, you have your guys here. You can click and drag, select all people.
Commander,
pretty simple.
there are tutorial videos awaiting your review.
Be quiet. So, close. I'm not going to look at that.
Your interval's wide, your eyes open, and your ass is covered. Let's move.
So Raynor, he's the
Raiders
main
roll.
character, one of the main characters of
You can
StarCraft.
count on me.
And so you can either look up the tutorials, or I can just tell you now. So Marine is your basic unit. He's a shooter. He's has okay damage, pretty much no armor, and he's your
What's
basic
the plan?
infantry unit, right?
Sounds
Okay,
like a
so
plan.
whenever you
Talk to
select
me.
all your units, you can just
Break
select
it
it like
down.
this.
Sell me.
And if you ever, and one thing you should always do is assign it to a group. So here you see one. What you can do is either just click here or right click here, and it'll assign it to group 1. So if you're on the other side of the map, you double hit 1 on your left hand on your keyboard, you automatically go back to your group. Moving your units is right click,
man up.
so it
Sounds
shows
like
you
a plan.
exactly where they're going to go. And
Raiders
all the
roll.
units follow a similar,
Time to man
will
up.
just go to that same
You can
point.
count on me.
When the whole group goes to that center, that's where they stop. One thing you should
Raiders
do when
roll.
you move around the map is that, like, since you never really know this is a fog that you can't see into, one thing you should always do is hit A. And if you hit A, that means attack something. Now you can either select a unit to attack, an object to attack, or just a point. So let's just say you select to attack
Time
point
to man
here.
up.
Your unit will go to that point, and basically if there's any enemies as you go to that point, your
Sounds
men
like a
will
plan.
kill everything up until that point. So let's just say there was, like, you know, a couple enemies here and you said A, like A here.
Count on
It will
me.
kill everything up until that point, and anything that's within its
Raiders
vicinity.
roll.
So
You
what
can
I like
count
to
on
do
me.
is, instead of going down to the menu here, I always just hit, one thing you need to really get used to is your hotkeys. So always have your left hand next to your hotkeys. So just kind of memorize, you know, what each of these things are. And what you want to do is basically go A.
Sounds like a plan.
To move your units, just go A
Time to
here.
man up.
And
Sounds
you're
like
going
a
to pretty
plan.
much be doing this all the
can count on
time,
me.
because
Raiders roll.
one thing you always want to do, the reason you want to do that versus just,
Time
you
to
know,
man
right clicking, unless you know it's for sure like going to be super
Raiders
safe,
roll.
or you're using a worker unit, is because you never know what's out there. So you always want to, you know, in case you guys get flanked, your units
count on me.
will be on attack ready mode as long as you're
Time to
using the
man
A command.
Sounds like a plan.
Even when you're just moving, even
Time
if
to
you
man
know
up.
it's like for sure clear, just use it
Sounds
anyways,
like a
just so that
plan.
on the slight chance an enemy pops out, they're ready to hit it, to kill that person.
Raiders
Because
roll.
if you were to, let's just say there was an enemy here and you went like
You can
this,
count on me.
just right clicked, they will move, bypass the enemy. Like, they won't attack. They'll just
Raiders
keep
roll.
moving and ignore the enemy. And the only times you ever want to do that is if you're trying to escape, you know, the enemy. So you just want to
Sounds
tell
like a
them to
plan.
get the heck out of there. That's the only time you want to tell them to move.
You can count on me. Time to man up.
One other thing I always like to do is to play the game on fastest, or the faster, because your units move a lot
You can
quicker
count on me.
and
Raiders
things
roll.
get produced faster. Now, if you're not used to this speed, just play it on normal until you get used to it. You know you get used to it when you feel like you're waiting for things to appear, like you wish
Sounds
things were
like a
moving
plan.
faster. That's when you know you should move to a faster
man up.
speed. So anyways, enough of that stuff. We're going
Raiders
to go on and move and
Time to
start go through this mission.
Sounds like a plan. You
As you
can
can see,
count on
I'm
me.
A moving here,
Time to man up.
so they can kill
Raiders
anything
roll.
that's in front of me. Probably
Don't go
nothing.
up that road.
Count on me. Sounds like a plan. Time to man up.
Alright, we have two enemy here, so one thing you'll notice, so let's just say I want to kill everything up until this point, right? Instead of you can either right-click attack on each person, each of the enemies, or you can just tell them to kind of free-for-all kill whoever's in your way, like this. So I want my guys to kill these two, any enemies in front of them, but then stop moving there. So you do
You can
A
count.
attack. Notice that they killed everything in front of them, and then they stop here. All right. So that's what you would normally do. So right now, I want to make sure. So this guy is one of the only guys hurt. So I'm going to move him to the back
Break it
of my
down.
units. You don't have to do this, but I
What's
like
up?
to. Basically, you don't want him to die.
Talk to me.
You want as many guns on the field as possible. So you're just going to move him to the back of
Raiders
the
roll.
unit. These are some of the side quests that you can do. So bonus objectives.
I'm getting mighty
I
tired of
recommend
seeing
doing
things
all
face.
bonus objectives because it gets you more credits
What's the plan?
in the game.
Sounds like a plan. You can count on me.
So by moving him to the back,
Where
it
is
allows
everyone?
my fresh guys to take
Sounds
damage.
like a plan.
And
Raiders
that way,
roll.
these guys the damaged guys are still going to be shooting,
This
but
is
they won't be
starting to
getting
look
hurt.
ugly.
Only the fresh guys will.
Sounds like a plan. Time to.
Commander, a large Dominion force is gathering in the center of town.
Then it's time to call in that special delivery. we
Go in now. Alright.
Thanks for the assist. We're with you, Raider.
So, two ways to select everybody. Either just make a window, select everyone, or hit F2, and that will automatically select everyone that's on the field,
You can count
all
on
your
me.
units. This is like all of your army units, not your worker units. And what you can do is assign it to group 1. So you can either right click here or do control 1, and then now assigns all your people to group 1. And you always want to have different groups for stuff so that you can hotkey quicker to it. So we're going to destroy all this stupid link stuff because it's annoying.
Raiders roll.
That's Raider.
You can count on me. Sounds like a plan.
Now, the only time you don't want to do this A thing
Your freedoms must be.
Sounds like a plan. This is bad.
is
Count on
when you want to kind of have a
Raiders
more...
roll.
You want like more people shooting at the enemy. The more people shooting at the enemy at once, like the better. So
Sounds like a
let's just say
plan.
you were shooting a building.
Time to man up.
You want
Raiders roll.
as many guns on it as possible. So sometimes
Sounds
you
like a
do want to
plan.
move your units a little closer, have them take a little damage, and then hit
Time to man
attack.
up.
Alright, we're not going to watch this.
Raiders roll.
Destroy these guys. Oh, they killed 2 of my dudes.
Time to man up.
3 of my dudes. That's
This
right.
has a lot to pay for.
Thank you, Raider. We knew you wouldn't forget us.
There's more people still being held up ahead.
I'll see to them.
Marshal Rayner. Been a while since we saw you around here.
We're with you, Raiders!
Raiders
Can't kill
roll.
any.
Time to...
This is a restricted area. You insurgents are under arrest. We got your back, Raider.
Raiders roll. You can count on me.
So usually your units have enough AI. Look at how this guy is trying to find a way to target him. They have good enough AI to go attack, so they know how to move around the map.
I didn't think we could fight them, but we can.
Now you...
So that's what you do. Really, really simple. You can kill every unit on hard. You can get all these achievements super easy, even if you are on hard difficulty if it's your first time playing, because arguably you're not gonna really die. Like, as long as you don't, send in one unit at a time, yeah, you're not gonna kill. You're not gonna lose this game. So, or you're not lose that mission. Alright, we're going to bypass all the cinematics, so now we have a new character, Tychus. He's kind of cool. He's in a full Marine suit, so now you get to see how a Marine looks like up close.
Thanks to your actions, Marsara
So now we
is
get another
listed
unit
to open
called a
revolt
medic,
against
which basically
Arcturus
heals
next.
your
Ex-convict Tychus Finley.
heals your troops, but only organic troops. So
This
they're not
all
going to
supposed to
heal
look like
any
anything special?
mechanical units such as
GP
tanks,
shit, The
Goliaths.
meaning engineer's been
They're
dead
only going to
about a
heal
year
other
before.
SCVs, Marines, Firebats, Marauders. Anyone, I mean, yeah, even though technically your Marines and Marauders are in a mechanical suit, they're not in a vehicle, so no vehicles are going to be healed by them.
Huh? Bad news? Ah!
This part's a little annoying. I'm going to pause a little bit. So normally, now that the game's been updated a few times, your workers will automatically go harvest units. So this is something you have to do in Liberty, Wings of Liberty, which is manually tell your units to go mine for minerals. It's super annoying, but it's what you got to do, right? But anyways, back to so the first thing you want to do when you start any game is to
Additional
tell
tutorials
your
are available for you to
command
review.
center to make more SCVs and tell it
SCV
and to set the rally
We'll
point
need a lot more Marines before we take
to
on the Dominion outpost.
a
Train 'em up at the
mineral
barracks.
patch, because this
While
what
we're
this
at it,
does.
extra SCVs will help us
It
harvest minerals
will
faster.
the
Train
SCVs
'em
will
up at the command
automatically
center.
come out and start mining for you. So when you see that orange orange rally point, that's when it's telling the unit to go automatically and go mine for more
SCV ready.
minerals. And the same thing goes for gas. But for gas, you have to build, of course, a refinery. So you just tell one of your SCVs to go build a refinery. He'll automatically do it. Once it's done, he'll automatically mine from the refinery. Now, barracks is where you're going to produce Marines and medics, right? So right now, what we're going to do, since we don't have enough gas, we're going to produce a Marine. Here you can see this is where your upkeep is, or where your supply. So what you need to build is supply depots anytime you are hitting or you're near the limit. So you have to build supply depots in order to keep increasing the denominator, which is this number here. So when you tell these guys to make a building, what thing you want to do is hit Shift and right click back to a mineral. This will give them an extra order to tell them to do something after they've done another thing. That way you don't have to monitor these workers, so that once they're done with what they're doing, they'll just go back to doing something else. That way you don't have to continually monitor them over time, because usually what they do is like they'll build, like say you want to build in a supply depot. Here, we're gonna build a tech lab so we can build medics. Once they're done with this, they'll just stand still. Like they will just stop, and then this is where you see your idle worker count go up or down. So in order to reduce that number, because you always want your workers to be doing something, just hit Shift, tell it to go back to a mineral, and that way it knows to do something else after it's done with that. So another thing we're gonna do is start making some medics, and now we're also gonna start making another build because we want to build units quicker. So in order to build units quicker, you want more of the same building will build more units out, right? Obviously.
The doctor is in.
One thing you always want to do is make sure your kind of warrior buildings are hotkeyed as well. So we're going to control 2, and now we've hotkeyed barracks as your number 2 spot.
The doctor is in.
So you hit double 1, you back to the command center, double 2 to the barracks. So what this does is that it allows you to select your buildings and make units without you being physically on the map, right? So let's just say you were in battle over here, you're doing stuff, you realize you need to make more SCVs, so you can easily just hit 1 once, tell it to build some SCVs, hit 2, say you need more units, I need more Marines, now you can just hotkey and tell it to make more units without even being able to look at it. Your map doesn't even have to be on the screen. So one thing I also like to do is to hit a rally point. You can either hit a rally point on a point on the map so that when the units are done building, they'll go exactly there, or you can rally point to a unit, and that way wherever these guys go, those rally points will just follow there. So that's kind of a fun trick. So we're gonna assign these guys to group 3, because now we have 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3.
Armed and ready.
First thing we want to do is grab resources. So there's resources right side of your base that you can grab. The harder the difficulty, there's going to be some units here to fight. So just FYI, they're not always going to be completely empty. So look at how that guy was built. Oh, put into enemies. This is why you want to do always A and move, because if those guys were to appear and I just did this, they would have just started mowing down my dudes, and I would have done nothing about it. So now that you have all these guys, so what we're gonna do, one thing you can always do instead of selecting one unit at a time to build a supply depot, what you can always do is say you want to build 4, right? Just select all your SCVs, or just select a bunch of them and just go like this.
Yep.
And it'll automatically assign 3 guys to go do it. Everyone else will do whatever the heck they were doing before. Now that they're building, you select those 4 guys.
Roger.
Tell them to go back over here when they're done. Alright, now that we have a small army, So in terms of a medic to marine ratio, I always like to do like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, 3 marine to 1 medic ratio, because you definitely don't need more than that. You don't need like a 1-to-1 ratio, because your guys will only hit up 1 or 2 at a time, so you don't need to have that many people.
Commander, the Dominion is attacking the rebel base to the southwest.
Good. That'll keep the
So your medics will automatically heal your guys as they fight, so notice how none of them are getting killed, because we are just
Armed and ready.
We are just getting healed continuously by our men, which is awesome.
Welcome aboard, boys.
Of course.
Dominion can go to hell. Rainer's the man.
I'm gonna...
It's Rainer's boys.
So in order to have more or include this barrack into my number 2 barrack spot, hit 2, shift, click on that barrack, and now control 2. Now I have 3 barracks assigned to this, and I'm going to tell them all to rally point on this medic. This is a kind of a dicey move, because if that medic dies, the rally point will just default back to the building. So usually if you really want to rally point to a specific unit, put it on a stronger character. If there's a hero in the map, then assign it to a hero. That way they're less likely to be killed, whereas like a medic or marine, they're gonna die pretty quickly, because these guys are arguably kind of like cannon fodder. They're gonna die really quickly, so you generally don't want to assign it to a unit so weak. So yeah, that's kind of some advice there.
Let's move out and take it to 'em. We've got to clear this area.
Alright, so now that we have a good enough force here that we're going to be able to take out whatever we need to.
Bad guys are that away.
Continually keep making guys as you're fighting. Like we have like 3 more people that are being built or trained right now. So you can continually keep just switching back, using your hotkeys, making more guys if you want. But generally for this map, we don't need that many.
Gangway coming through.
Those are bunkers. We will be using those a lot in the next map, which I'll explain more about.
Nice job cleaning out that bunker, Jimmy. Between your boys and my skills, we are gonna go a long way together.
So notice how I'm still using the A click. Oops, I accidentally clicked on a unit.
Sure thing.
So I'm just going to A click to here, and basically all these guys are just going to kill everything that's in this path until they reach that point. So anything within its range. You don't want to wait, you want to be a little quicker. What you can do is always move your guys really close to a building and just tell them all to hit at once. And notice how life disappears ridiculously faster. So we can just to kill this building as quickly as possible, make sure they're all in range, and just come to that. Notice how that life bar just drops. Only do it for buildings. Don't do maybe units if it's a really big unit.
Crane controls accessed. Decrypting security overrides. Crane control established.
So we've done it all. To do a bunch of this stuff is not too hard. The 10 minutes can be a little tricky, especially on hard, because they do have more units to fight when it's on a hard difficulty. One thing I do recommend is to play these 2 maps like a few times over, just to kind of get used to a lot of the controls, practice a bunch of your hotkeys to make sure that you understand what they are, and see if you can beat it on hard in under 10 minutes. And if you can, you're in a very good position to really master this game. So you can pause here and start practicing, or let's continue. back in the bar. We're building up spending credits, so whatever. That's going to come into play later, and there's definitely a trick to getting more credits in this particular campaign. So I'll show you how to do that once that part comes.
With the artifact secure, you need to wait for
So these are
transport
one
to
of the
Backwater
few
Station
maps
before
where
you
there's a
leave
timer.
Masara. Transportation is on
Basically,
the way. Caution is advised.
the whole point
Dominion
of...
security forces may succeed in tracking the artifact to
let me stop her. So the whole point of this mission is for us to play defense until a timer drops down to 0. I think it's like 20 minutes or something. And basically, you have to last 20 minutes. And it can get hard on the hard modes, so you're gonna have to build a lot of guys. But on normal, it's pretty easy. So you don't have to build too much. You just have to use these bunkers. Basically, they fit up to 4 guys. You can upgrade them to fit up to 6 guys later, and if you want to. So basically, they'll hide. Your units will hide out in these bunkers and be able to shoot at anything like rapid fire. Like you know how like your units are normally doing bursts of fire. In bunkers, they don't do bursts of fire. They just like automatic fire the whole time, and they'll fire at anything that comes at them. And your units will not get hurt until the barracks are destroyed. So they can hide up in there, you know. And the units have +1 range on their attacks, so they shoot even farther. So these are defensive structures that are very, very useful when you want to defend a base.
I've got transport coming.
So this one is all about defense, but there are things for you to do on the map still that are very, very useful, and we will definitely be doing that. First thing we do, tell you guys to mine and send it to Group 1 and tell it to train more SCVs. It's kind of lame. They only give us like 4 or 5 because on most, I think most maps, if you were to play like just against a computer or like a basic map, they give you 10 workers to start out with. So we're getting half of that, so we have to build it all the way up. You don't have to fill up this queue. I always say in the beginning, oops, I forgot to assign it to mine, to assign at least two or 3 in the beginning. So you have bunkers here, so all you have to do is select your Marines, right click onto the bunker, and they'll just automatically go in. We have some guys here, so for now we're not going to fill up these bunkers yet because the likelihood of enemies destroying these 2 and infiltrating the base up to here is pretty unlikely. What we are going to do though is come back out and build more bunkers. One here, select another guy, and build another one here.
Been waiting on you.
Here they come. Lock and load.
I'm gonna build some tech labs for these because we want some medics out here. Look, this guy's already done. Dang, that guy's quick.
Complete.
Get some SCVs repairing those bunkers.
Ooh, an extra XCV just came out of nowhere. Alright, you're gonna come back here and
To
you're
anyone
gonna
hearing this message,
mine stuff.
we're pinned down near Backwater Station. Please assist.
So for this part of the map, I like to have one SCV on each end and have them patrol so that they are constantly ready to repair. Because right now they have an auto repair, so to auto cast. So whenever these things get injured or get hit by something, they will auto repair. So that's very handy.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Ooh, we need more gas. And we need more SCVs. Holy crap. Normally I would not be playing like this, but because I'm doing this tutorial, I'm like not really paying attention to a lot of stuff. But, so we are going to rescue these guys. We just need to get some medics out here.
The base is under attack.
We should be actually, arguably, we can use these amount of men.
Multiple air bogeys detected. ETA, right the hell now.
Should be okay with just these guys.
Got it. SCV ready.
Yep, we were more than okay.
Outstanding.
Nice. Alright. Bring these guys back.
Thought we were gunners there.
Additional supply depots required.
Heyo. Supply depots.
Big job, huh?
Alright, so we gotta build more of these.
What's going on?
Can get a little annoying.
You gonna give me orders?
Fill these back up.
Looking forward to
What happened to that one SCV? Oh no.
Ah, you scared me.
Come back down. Alright. Apparently those fires killed my SCVs. Alright, now that we have supply again, we're gonna start building more guys.
SCV ready. We hear you.
And one thing I'm also going to do is upgrade. So one thing you always want to keep doing is always upgrading your men.
SCV ready.
So whenever you have the resources, upgrading them will just make them that much more significant.
In the rear with the
If
gear.
you're ever wondering, should I have more men instead of more upgrades?
SCV ready.
Having upgrades plays a much more significant part than just having more men. Unless you're like super outnumbering the enemy.
They're burrowed all around us.
That's
If you can reach us,
rarely
please
going to
help.
be. But the likelihood of that happening is pretty rare. So,
Gangway.
all right,
Coming
another
through.
group of guys came up. So
This
we're
better be
gonna. So, oops. One thing you want to do: Control 2 for your men, or men making buildings, and then Control 3 for your actual men.
Go ahead.
Always kind of keep a lookout if there's idle workers, because you always want to make sure that
Yes, sir.
you
Base
have
is
none.
under attack.
Armed and ready.
All right.
Been waiting on you. By the numbers, boys. I feel you.
Now we can go out with our group here and rescue some of those guys.
Sure.
We don't need a lot of men, we just need a few.
Man, are you a sight for sore eyes? Hold up, we're coming with you.
Have them come back.
Turn on, Sparky.
Now you don't have to worry about them, you can come back and focus.
Additional supply depots required.
Bad news.
Build 3 more here. Might as well, since we have selected 3 guys. Tell them
What's going
to
on?
give them another command to go back. You have 2. There's 2 upgrades, so they'll just finish one after the other, which is nice. Now, what I also want to do at this point, you don't have to, is either build more bunkers out
Upgrade
here
complete.
or build more bunkers within here. You don't have to.
Base is under attack.
Because once the timer reaches 0,
SCV ready.
it'll just do whatever it needs to do.
This better be good.
Now, one thing I found out the other day that
Yes,
is
sir.
very interesting is, like, say you have, since these only fit 4 Marines each, say you have a lot more than 8, right? And you want to fill both of these bunkers and then just have the rest chill here. Here's what you can do: hold Shift, right click. You're gonna right click both bunkers and then back here. Basically telling your assigning some of your units to enter bunkers and assigning the others to just stay where they are. What it will automatically assign 4 units to each, and then whoever's not assigned will stay put. Look, check this out.
Sure thing.
Notice how everything just separated automatically. Like, I didn't have to do it. I didn't even notice that until recently. It was so
Base is under
cool.
attack.
So I'm gonna make more units because we're being attacked.
Armed and ready.
Holy crap!
Outstanding.
Yeah, see, he's about to die.
That's fine. Orders
Come back
received.
out here. What we are gonna do, so instead of making those guys who are patrolling make more bunkers, I'm just gonna have another
Keep at it,
SCV
boys.
come out here
The ride's on its way.
to make more bunkers instead.
Overtime.
So, told it to build that bunker, build this bunker, and then told it to go back to mine. Don't have to worry about it. Make more SCVs. Since we have plenty of money, tons of dough,
Gangway.
and supply, I'm just gonna fill up the whole entire queue. Might as
Big
well.
job, huh?
Why not?
Yep.
You can always tell one SCV to build multiple buildings like that again, and do Tell you just come back
Base
here.
is under attack.
Very easy, very simple.
Armed and ready. SCV ready.
We need immediate support. Hostiles all around us. Is anyone out there?
Boys.
Oh, yeah, there's one more guy. There's one more one more set of rebels to find. So we are gonna wait for.
Gangway.
Yes.
Coming through. Orders received.
This is good amount of Marines and medics to come out here,
SCV ready.
fight,
Why not?
just in case. It's always a good idea to not have your guys in a line like that because
Our SCVs are under attack.
SCV ready.
oh crikey!
This better be good. You gonna give
Base
me orders?
is under attack.
Thanks for the assist. We're with you, Rainer.
That guy must have
Roger that.
must have finished building it out here and then got caught in some collateral damage. Sucks to be that guy.
Armed and ready.
So for normal,
Been waiting on
having
you.
3 bunkers on each side and then a patrolling SCV to make sure to, heal the bunkers or repair the bunkers whenever they get caught is pretty much good enough for the rest of the game. Like, you don't really have to do anything else.
Base
You
is under
can
attack.
keep
Under
creating more
attack.
units if you really, really want to, but it's really not going to do anything else. At the end of the game, there's going to be tons of units that raid. End of the
By the numbers.
end of this mission, there's going to be a ton of Zerg that just raid the base, but you don't really need to worry about them because at that point you already won the game.
You gonna give me
So,
orders?
arguably having this, you're already set. Like, you don't even have to do anything else. You just have to wait for the timer to go down because you've done all your bonus objectives already by now. So you really don't really have anything else to do except for just watch your bunkers destroy the enemy and on out. And because there's 12 Marines shooting so many Zerg, like, you don't have to really worry. I mean, you could, just in case, assign a medic on each side, just in case, so they're there to heal the SCV, just in case. But aside from that, you don't really have to do anything else. I wish there's a way to fast forward, but since it's a live broadcast, I can't do it. So, some things to kind of keep in mind. The numbers up here mean how many workers these mineral patches can support,
Base is under
and
attack.
how many workers this gas can support. So it can only support 3. If you put more than that, then you
Hold
don't.
out just a little longer.
It's kind of
We'll be
like
getting out of here
overkill. You don't need to apply more than 3 to each gas. Mineral-wise, you can do more than 27 if you really wanted to, but not a whole lot. Like if you want to do like 28, 29, the reason you sometimes want to do that is if either you're about to build another base, you want to overload this base with units so that once the new base is up, you can move extra guys from this base to another. Another reason is like so that if you're building buildings, like if you had to take a guy off the working line to build another building or something, then you're not gonna be under the workers. So like if you're at 28 out of 27, you have like kind of one guy that's just dedicated to building stuff.
Base is under attack.
So in this case, we don't even really need to build more guys because we have more than enough money and we're pretty much going to win this game. But in other situations, you might want to have a lot more workers here so that your mineral line will constantly be, driving a whole lot of income. But at the same time, if you take one away to build a building or to repair a building, you won't be diminishing your mineral line too much. So that's the only time you would be, you would want to kind of overpack the mineral line. Say.
Need some triage?
This better be good.
Where does it hurt?
Armed and ready.
Please state the nature of your medical emergency. You rang.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, we're already depleting minerals up here, so if you want to know how much is left on the mineral patch, you can just select it. It'll tell you what's remaining, how many harvesters are on it.
Base. Our SCVs are under attack.
The game is a lot more informative than it used to be back in the day. In StarCraft 1, like half of this automation stuff would never happen. Like, there would not have there was definitely no auto casting on repair. You have to tell every SCV to like specifically repair buildings.
You rang.
The only thing that was auto cast was healing.
Base is under attack.
Commander, this is Matt Horner. Just hold on. Cavalry's on the way.
Less than a minute, so we're about to win.
Time, Matt. No rush.
Nothing really else for us to do than to just chill and just watch the Zerg get mowed.
Base
We
is
definitely
under
want
attack.
at least 4 turrets
Our
here,
SCVs
just in
are
case.
under attack.
Any less, these mutalisks might break loose. Oh. Should kill that SCV just in case. 15, 20 seconds left. We're pretty much good to go.
Is it critical?
You can build 6 here if you really want to, but you know. And we've won. And we've done all bonus objectives. Just to watch the cinematic, because I like it. Every time I play this, I sometimes build, like, oh shoot, that just killed everything. I sometimes build extra bunkers and turrets within the base just to kill all the stuff that's inside, just to see.
Cavalry's arrived.
Doesn't really affect
Anyone
the
still
game
alive down there?
afterwards, but
Good to see you, Matt. Welcome to the party.
it's just me.
Glad we made it in time, sir.
Kind of weird.
Now let's get you boys out of there.
All right. Anyways, so if you want to, so one thing that's actually pretty hard is destroy 4 Zerg hatcheries on hard mode. So basically, if you want to get this achievement, you will have to, instead of playing defense, you have to make a team of guys and do offense. And the hard part about this is that you're only limited to 2 different types of units, which is medics and marines. So even with the upgrade, the enemy has a ton of units. So, and plus they have defensive structures like these spore crawl or those spine crawlers. So it's definitely going to take a lot more resources and time to get those hatcheries. I haven't been able to do it, but and maybe I'll try one of these days. But I think I tried doing it once, and like whatever. I had a pretty good sized army. I had like maybe 20 Marines and like 10 medics, and they just got wiped out. Like I think you have to go in like several waves of Marines and medics at a time to like kill the enemy. So I haven't been able to do it, but if you guys can, that's great. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next part. All right. We're gonna skip this. We just don't need to watch it. Now the rest of the game we're going to be on the Hyperion, which is a battle cruiser.
There's no telling what the Zerg will throw.
Pretty cool. Like you get to kind of go around. So this is where you just kind of get to select missions from your star map. You can replay missions in the archives. You can talk to people by clicking on them. And then there's different parts of the ship that you can go to as well, such as the armory.
Hey everybody, our glorious leader has returned.
So here in the armory is where you can upgrade your units. So you can give like, so you have 100 credits available, and each upgrade costs, X amount of credits. So you can give them stim packs, and each upgrade will tell you like what it does. Stim packs and shields, you're definitely going to eventually want to upgrade. So these are 2 you're going to want to upgrade. And also for medics, you're eventually going to want to upgrade, get all the upgrades for both medics and eventually. And you can, right now, these are the only 2 units you can upgrade. There's also base upgrades such as increasing the range of bunkers and also increasing the number of bunker slots by 2, so that way you can put in either 6 Marines or a Marauder that constitutes as 2 of them. It takes up 2 spots, so you can have 4 Marines and a Marauder in there, or a Fire Bat. So those are the only 3 units that can really go in there. You can put medics in there too, but you don't want to do it because they're already shielded from the bunker itself. You could if you want, but it just takes up a slot that could be killing someone. But anyways, for now, what we want to upgrade, I am gonna suggest. So depending on what you want, like kind of how you play, your play style will depend on what you want to upgrade. So for me, this is kind of nice. Medics no longer need a tech lab. So if you're only just building Marines and medics, you can punch out Marines and medics using a tech lab. Because a tech lab would allow, or using the other attachment allows you to build 2 units at a time. So you can pretty much spill out Marines and medics coming out really quickly because by having this add-on. But for now, I'm not gonna touch that for now. I feel like what's more useful would be stims are useful, definitely, especially when you pair them with medics. Because every time you stim, you hurt your own units, but they shoot a lot quicker. But then you pair them with medics, then every time you stim, your medics will heal your guys. So you kind of almost get an unlimited stim, so to say. But that's a really deadly combination that you can start using later. But for now, I am going to upgrade. I'm upgrading my barracks to have 6 people. And I will get my guy some stim. Don't worry about using all your credits for now, because there's going to be more to it. You're going to add a lot more credits to it, and there's kind of a trick to that. So let's come back to the bridge. We're going to go to the star map.
What's our general status, Matt?
We've picked up a distress call from the planet Agria. There's a colony there under attack by the Zerg.
So from here,
your convict buddy Tychus lined up a mission.
Depending on where you go, you're going to get one of 2 units. So you can either go Agria, get Firebats, or go to Monolith and get Marauders. I personally suggest going to get Marauder. Marauders are a heavy infantry unit that shoots out like grenades from its guns, and it's a lot more effective than Firebats. You're going to use a Marine Marauder medic combination a lot more than you will use Firebats, guaranteed. In fact, I don't even use Firebats aside from in this mission. So just letting you know, Marauders are the way to go. So we're going to get these guys first.
There it is, Jimmy. Just like...
Building is... There's always kind of tips here, so in case you miss anything, reading these will help.
Huh? Batman.
So always make more units, right? Job 1, assign your command center to slot 1, so you can always hotkey back to it, and then tell it to rally on those on the minerals.
The Zerg severely outnumber the Protoss forces. It is likely the Protoss will fall shortly.
So in the beginning here, I like to make with your existing
we've got to get that
money,
artifact
make
before the
1
Zerg overrun the
medic
whole
and
place.
one more Marine, just in case.
Warning. Protoss stalkers are gathering at our perimeter.
The reason you want to do that is because you're about to get attacked.
Incoming transmission.
And
I got something new for you, cowboy.
we're going to get some new
Marauders.
units.
The
which
latest
is
word
Marauders
in
for
big
you.
bada boom hardware.
I ain't sure this is the best time to be experimenting, Swan. Best
So
time
select all
there
these guys
is.
and move
Let the
them back
Marauders
here.
loose against those stalkers, and you'll see.
Move them back here. If you don't have more than one, the reason you want to make an extra medic is so that you can heal more than one person, because you saw them hitting multiple units at a time, so you want to get more medics.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Just in case. And if you only had one medic at that time, you would have lost at least one or two guys. So by having a few more Marines and at least one more medic, you're able to keep all your guys from dying.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Okay, we're getting close to our supply, so you definitely want to make some
Big job, huh?
supply depots here. Oh shoot, I didn't even see that.
Roger.
Alright, have some more dudes.
Go ahead.
If you want to cancel their route, just kind of hit right click or whatever and they'll cancel. And instead I'm going to tell them to mine this gas instead of going back to the middle. Instead I'm going to have other units go mine for gas. Or mine for gas. Definitely need a few more medics here, at least 4 or 5 for this group of guys.
SCV ready.
The doctor is in.
So this part, we're going to move a little slow. Oops.
SCV ready. Looking forward to it. That's fine.
So the bonus is to find Protoss rags, which is going to be pretty simple.
Warning. Incoming Zerg attack wave detected.
Uh-oh.
Orders received.
We hit from 2 fronts. We're okay. For a moment, that was like a little freaky.
Got it.
I wasn't sure what's going to happen.
Will do. Sure. Outstanding. Gateway.
For Protoss, you always want to, in that situation, you want to kill the
You
pylon.
ain't gonna leave your base completely undefended, are you, Jimmy?
Not enough minerals.
Oh, of course I'm not. Alright, so one thing you want to do before you move your guys out is build a bunker. The reason I put it back here is because you want to surround your bunker with buildings so that since the Zerg and the Protoss have melee units, by surrounding with buildings, those melee units won't get... It's going to be harder for them to get to the bunker itself.
This better be good. SCV ready.
So for example, I am going to put a
Overtime. I'm going.
supply depot in front here, and eventually I'm going to put one here, here, and then maybe another bunker here to kind of like seal it off.
You gonna give me orders? Been waiting on. Who wants? By the numbers. Just say
So notice how a Marauder takes up 2 spots. So you can put in 4 Marines and 1 Marauder. What the heck? Oops.
boom, baby.
Time's a wasting.
This better be good. Been waiting on.
Don't rely on just one guy building. Always, you can get more builders by using another SCV, of course.
You're on the ball. SCV ready. Go, go, go. Aye, aye, sir. SCV ready. Who wants some? Big job. SCV ready.
We're going to sign more of that. Again, remember to build an engineering base so you can upgrade your units.
What's going on? Right. SCV ready.
close off that
Want a
area.
piece of me, boy? Who wants some?
Not enough minerals.
So remember, one of the objectives of this map is to get here before the Zerg pick out all these Protoss. Obviously, the harder the difficulty, the faster this happens, but generally, you have a lot of time before that happens. So don't worry about too much in case you feel like you're lagging behind.
It's go time.
So we have, next thing we're going to do, instead of moving to the right, we are going to go back this way to get this artifact, or the relic.
Yes, sir.
In order, you're kind of at a disadvantage because you're going uphill on a very thin ramp, and this spine crawler is pretty powerful. So what we're going to do is...
SCV ready.
Oh.
I feel ya.
Is stim ourselves, let them heal, and then attack. So, bound to lose at least 1 or 2 people, so luckily we only lost 2 people here, so collateral damage is pretty low.
Sure. Affirmative.
If you have time to stim before, is always a good idea. Ooh, we have 2 cannons here, which can be pretty deadly. So again, we're gonna stim and then attack.
Got it.
Pull back a little bit so I can heal up, and also
You gonna give me orders?
lure that stalker closer to us. This time we lost a few more guys, but no problem. Let's make a few more.
Been waiting
Deal.
on you.
Don't be afraid to lose men. When I was first playing out, I was always afraid of losing guys.
Upgrade complete.
You shouldn't be, because it's part of the game, and it's no big deal because you can always make more. Notice how it diverts your units. Obviously, shooting units are going to be able to hit it right away, but any melee unit won't be able to go directly to the bunker itself.
This better be good. Who wants some? Armed and ready. Huh?
It's about to get heavy.
Well, butter my biscuit. This better be good. SCV ready. You gonna give me orders?
Alright, so we have a good enough force that we can start attacking, and then as these guys start, being produced, they can just continue to join the army as they keep going.
SCV ready.
One thing I like to do is, instead of using all my guys, is just to use my marauders to hit those, hit the pylons. Because once those pylons go down, then these cannons will not be powered, and then you can just kill them and breeze through them like they're nothing.
It's about to get heavy.
Kind of like right now.
It's go time.
Fortunately, there's nothing we have that can break these things.
Upgrade complete.
Deal with what we got now.
The doctor is in.
So now we're through.
The doctor is in.
We can either go either way. Let's kill these 2 stalkers first. So let's stim, heal, and fight.
Go, go, go!
Same thing with down here. That guy just died because there's no medic near them.
Can't wait.
it's okay.
The doctor is in.
So now we have, what, 3 or 4 of the research? Not a problem. We still have a long ways to go. It's going to take the Zerg a long time to break through all this part. So don't worry too much.
Gangway coming through. Go, go, go! We can use some help here.
Base is under attack.
By the numbers, boys. Orders received.
Boom, baby! It's about to get heavy.
Tempo.
Speed things up. Hit the stem a little bit.
Boy. Go, go, go! This better be good. What's up? Sure.
Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
I'm not gonna worry about these pylons because they don't power anything. I'm just gonna grab it. So now we have 4 out of 4 research.
I feel you.
And we have more than a big enough force, so 30 to 40 dudes is like all you need to win the last part. Super simple. Especially,
that's fine.
We still haven't broken through Jack here, so we're good. Like, I mean, if you really wanted to make it 40 more, hit 40 units, you can, but you won't need to. So here for this part, just land on this beacon and just let, and then let these guys just do its thing. Stim if you want, which I did, just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. We lost 1 guy, no big deal.
Armed and ready.
And we won the game.
I got a crew coming down to pick up the artifact.
We got what we came for. Let's hightail it out of here.
I forgot how resourceful you were, Jim.
So yeah, so that's how we beat mission 4. I mean, all you need is 1 bunker in your base to, defend itself. Every other guy, every other unit you make, you only need to, I mean, arguably you could have done it with 20 people, not even 30 units. So yeah, and pretty much like this motif of Marine, Marauder, and Medic is going to be one of your core combination of unit, kind of like units that you're going to be able to kill the majority of your enemies with. One things that you're probably going to add eventually are going to be maybe some Goliaths, for sure. Siege tanks. Siege tanks will be your kind of like, they are super powerful, and you're definitely going to always want to build like 5, 6 of them at a time, and move them around the map with you, because they are just super good at shelling the crap out of ground units, and to make sure that you're always in, you have some kind of air cover. Either use Goliaths or just have a lot of Marines and Medics around you, just in case. And there's also a bunch of other units that you can always utilize, but for myself, I tend to steer towards like a bit of a more simple setup. So anyways, that's it for today. Play the first 4 missions. I recommend just keep playing the first few missions to get a hang of everything until you move on to harder missions, because it does get progressively harder. There's going to be a lot of more timed missions like these last 2, where you're under a time limit. You can't just kind of like willy-nilly do whatever the heck you want like you could in like the first 2 missions. So if you find yourself struggling, or even if you lose, just continue playing the mission over and over. And practice makes perfect. Just continue practicing, learn your hotkeys, and that's what's going to make you a pretty solid StarCraft player. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Come back